Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Black Enterprises Inside the Studio. Today, we're going inside the new seasons of two of Tyler Perry's staple shows on BET, Season 5 of Tyler Perry's Assisted Living, and Season 11 of Tyler Perry's House of Payne. We chop it up with stars from both casts on what viewers can expect from the new seasons and how Tyler Perry created two different sitcoms that have been resonating with audiences for years. So join me in welcoming Courtney Nichole of Assisted Living and Keshia Pulliam and Lance Gross of House of Payne. 5 of Assisted Living, you're in with the mans. How does it feel to have made it to season 5 of Assisted Living?
A dream. It is really it's a dream. Because I can remember we filmed our first season right before the pandemic, right? Like right before the world shut down. And our first season came out like in the midst of that. So to be sitting here 5 seasons later is a blessing.
Yeah.
It really
so
is.
what can we expect from this new season? What kind of themes are being navigated and the dynamics between the cast and your storylines?
When we moved in with Grandpa Vinny, we brought our 2 kids who are teenagers, and teenagers moving them from Chicago to a small town or right outside of Atlanta, and they weren't really with it. So we've always had our challenges with the kids. I think that you can see them grow this season, especially our son. Like our daughter graduated last season, so she's been coming back and forth and dealing with her college matriculation. You know what I'm saying? Our son is coming into his manhood. All the men out there, I think they know, like my husband will even say about our 16-year-old, like I'm waiting on the day he want to huff up, but we have a sweetheart, so he's not gonna do that. He was like, I'm not playing that game. But my son on television kind of huffed up a little bit at the end of season 4, just stepping into his manhood. So we watched that. And as parents, I think we all love to see that. It's kind of it's that bittersweet thing. You're looking at them knowing that you've done a great job and watching them grow up and go through these life challenges that you yourself went through, right? But then now to help them navigate that, how much do you stay in their business and how much do you get out of it, so.
Right. Yes, I need to get some tips on that. I have ways to go, but it's still something I'm thinking of as I have just a little 2-month-old.
Oh,
Um,
newborn.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, so fresh and so cute. Look.
Thank you. So you are a Chicago native.
I am born and
So
raised.
how does it feel kind of like, is it full circle because your family on the show is from Chicago, relocated to Atlanta, but it's kind of real life for you. So how does that feel being able to kind of play out a portion of your real life on screen?
It's been amazing. So much. So I can be my true self.
Right.
Which and you always bring your true self and your authentic self to any role, but I can bring it in a different way this time. Like one season, we were playing, and so stepping is big in Chicago. So my husband on the show, Jeremy, and we can do a little step, you know what I'm saying, and play that way. I joke, I've been doing stand-up lately, and one of my jokes about Chicago is that people they when they say they love Chicago, they're talking about the skyline, the Buckingham Fountain, Laugh-A-Palooza. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the side of Chicago that builds character. So I get to bring some of that character to the show, which is also amazing. And then you were talking about where our characters are going. Speaking of that, like I think that this season you'll see a little bit more of that too, even with my character Leah is on her husband about having another baby. So I get to use let's see how much of my Chicago gangster I can use to convince my husband to
Yes.
now start all over after having teenagers. So we'll see how that goes.
I actually went to Chicago for the first time just last week, and
Wow.
I did fall in love. But I
Beautiful.
was I was in the city. I'm not
She said, I ain't even gonna hold you. I was in the city. What did you get to do?
I got flown out there to attend a press conference with Chance the Rapper,
Wonderful.
and it
Yeah.
was at Michelle Clark. preparatory high school. So I did
Okay.
go a little but out, but it was still, it looked nice to me, the area.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, and not that everything is the hood, because we still lived in nice neighborhoods. It's just
Yeah.
it depends on the city. If you're from the DMV, it comes with a certain vibe,
Right.
like, and that's all that it is. But
I
you
didn't go to
I
any
think it's
blocks.
experience. You
I
didn't
didn't
go
go
to.
to any blocks named after a letter.
Okay, you didn't hit MLK, baby. Listen, you got to be like Jigga, honey. I'm good on any MLK Boulevard.
But it is a beautiful city, and I am from New York City. So, I go there with my bias. But I was like, okay, I get it. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. And the people is just a certain energy, and the food is good.
The
So,
food is good, and the people. I love Chicago. I said we're real. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
yeah,
get some authentic people, some authentic food, and I think that you saying you're from New York, you kind of understand the vibe I'm talking about, because like when I went to New York last, I stayed in Manhattan because I wanted to go to a Broadway show. So I get it. Like boy, you didn't really come to New York.
yeah,
I didn't hit a block either when I went to New
yeah.
York, so I understand.
But I need somebody to take me out there. I'm not going to just
Yeah,
go out there.
you do want to go out there.
But so now with the new season, I'm not sure exactly when it was filmed, but are we kind of seeing anything navigated as it relates to the current climate
Mhm.
in the country, with an election year, things on people's minds, inflation? You guys are family navigating these same tropes. Are we
Mhm.
seeing that? And particularly you with, being from Chicago, and then we saw the DNC hosted in Chicago. Does that get touched on a bit this season?
You know what? I would say our show always kind of we've always been we've tried to stay relevant on certain topics, like during the protest, where we had a protest in every state across these United States. Our children did go out and protest. One of the young men got arrested. Because of the timing of the filming, we don't necessarily talk about this political environment, but we do get to talk. Actually, you know what? There's some episodes coming up.
Right.
You're trying to get me.
I figured as much. That's why I wanted to ask. And I just
You
I
have
want to
one
know.
coming up. Yeah.
Okay, okay. See, good to know. You got to ask.
When
And
you're filming
so
22 episodes, it's kind of,
it's a lot, right? It could be
they
like
run
it could be a
together.
blur. But with the assisted living, it's one of Tyler Perry's productions, and he is very celebrated for the opportunities that he brings to Black actors.
Yeah.
For someone like yourself, how can you attest to this? What has your experience been like? And is there even certain aspects of working with Tyler Perry that we don't know, the outsiders looking in?
Um, I well, at from he is very giving, right? From the first time we were on set, he directed our first half of our first season. And from day one, he was straight up and real. And we talked about how important that is. And I think like he touched my heart then. I can't go as far as to say he's a gentle giant, but you know that when you see him, like he's a big guy. He's like six, I think he is. And
Yeah.
so it's easy to be intimidated, but he is very, that's why I said giving in that way, to where you don't even feel that and you don't feel the intimidation where you possibly could. He allows you to have take up space in the spaces that he's in, which is beautiful. And like you said, he just has done so much for so many of us. Like thankful to be in a season 5. When
Yes.
you say, well, how about season 5? I immediately think Tyler Perry. This
Yes.
man has created something. He allows us to have an outlet and a voice. He participates in things like, and just to be under him. Like one time when we filmed, it was during February, and he put one of his mottos on the front banner, and it's basically the African proverb that we have, that it takes a village, because it's like you got to reach back. And that's exactly what he does. And so I've been forever grateful since 2020, when I booked this, that I've had this opportunity under his umbrella.
Well, thank you so much. I love your energy. I love your spirit. And I look forward to continuing to watch how you are bringing that into season 5 of Assisted Living. So thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me today. We are here to celebrate season 11 of House of Payne. It's been a long time coming. How does it feel?
It's been amazing. I mean, we've been in households for close to 16 years, so
Yeah,
we're making great material and it's fun and working with Keshia, it's like working with family, so I'm enjoying it.
yeah. Absolutely. We've been at this for so long. And, it's such a blessing to be able to have a show that spans like decades at this point. And our fans are serious, let me tell you. They are serious about Calvin and Miranda. They're serious about, the show in general. So
Yeah.
definitely grateful.
What can viewers expect from season 11?
Yeah.
Oh wow, they can
Um,
expect a lot of laughter. I mean, our show is about ups and downs and how
yeah.
we roll with the punches, but at the end of the day, we do it as a family and it's always feel good stories, that the audience can connect with.
Absolutely. The good thing about The House of Pain is it's definitely a show that everyone can sit down and watch. And you're going to see all of the different families, from Curtis and Auntie Ella and Jasmine and Malik, who are growing up and now have kids. Malik is a dad. So I think it's really interesting as we navigate, what all of these different relationships look like and feel like and what they experience as they just support each other as a multi-generational family, and you're gonna laugh while you do it, so
Of course, we got to. Keshia, you are a sitcom veteran. You've been, really seeing the change in the sitcom scene for over the last couple of decades. How would you say that sitcoms in general have changed or evolved over the years?
I think it's more how people are watching and consuming that's changed.
Mhm.
Before, if we're talking all the way back to the 80s, you had to see your show on your night at your time, and that was it. And if you missed it, you missed it, and you hope someone popped a VHS in the recorder so you could go back and see it. Now there's so many different options, and that's also which makes House of Pain so special is that in a landscape where people can watch things on their phones, on their computers, you can, your televisions, you're recording, you're having memberships where you can go back and watch, your favorite shows. I'm grateful that people are still continuing to tune into House of Pain and that it's resonating with households everywhere. Because I think that's the biggest thing. It's the access. And, a long time ago, you didn't have as much variety as you have now. So people's just attention span is different and people are pulled in so many different directions. So it's a blessing when people choose through the multitude of options that they have to continue to follow our storylines.
Yeah. Lance, much of what you do as an actor and entertainer, it's deeply rooted in the Black community, and I commend you for that. Tell us about the significance you feel shows like House of Pain play within our diaspora.
I mean, I think shows like House of Pain are important. I mean, like my generation, we had the Cosby Show, we had A Different World, So it's just all about having material that the audience can relate to, and I feel like through House of Pain, we're providing that. I mean, we have over 400 episodes. So it's a little bit of everything and it represents who our audience is.
Mhm. This question is for both of you. Tyler Perry, he's celebrated for the opportunities that he provides to Black actors and Black entertainers. How can both of you attest to this as stars on his show, House of Pain?
we've been doing this for what, 16 years. I think that kind of says a lot. And both Lance and I have been in other projects through TPS. So I think it's very much what I know, what's amazing and what I appreciate about it is, the longevity of the relationships that, a lot of his actors have with his studio, with a variety of different projects, with shows that have lasted, 16 plus or 11 seasons over the span of 16 years, like ours. I think, that speaks volumes. People can talk about what they do every day, but it's about what the actions are. And I think that kind of is super self-explanatory. So
Yeah. For my last question, now you guys have been on already for 11 seasons. It, like you said, 16 years. But in the event, if someone hasn't watched House of Pain before, why would season 11 be the time to tune in? Lance?
It's about a family you can relate to. I mean, it's multi-generational, so there's a little something for everyone. I could easily sit my kids in front of the television and watch House of Pain and not worry about the content that they're seeing. They're seeing a family who loves each other, who goes through things, and they work it out together. So, I'd be confident in sitting them in front of the television to watch House of Pain.
Yes, important. That is important. Well, thank you both so much. We're looking forward to it. Season 11, House of Pain on BET Plus. And anything else you want to leave us with before we let you go?
Um, I'm really excited for the fans that we've had all these years. I'm excited to welcome new fans to the House of Pain because even if you didn't start from the beginning, you can pick up right now and still enjoy the shows. And not only do you get to see Lance and I in front of the camera and our tango that we've been doing for forever as Calvin and Miranda, but Lance is an amazing writer who's written episodes on the show in previous seasons. I direct episodes of House of Pain. So when we talk about that Tyler Perry and how it reverberates, not only is it, the opportunity to be in front of the camera, but also, we both have enjoyed the opportunity to be a part of the production side of the show as well.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. That's definitely something to shout out. Well, keep it up, guys. Keep up the Black excellence. And we're tuned in. Season 11.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.